Welcome back to the fields of Perthshire and part 2. So if you haven't watched part 1, then go and look at the video before this one, where I discovered 3 nice coins, one of which was a nice milled silver. So I've started just a few minutes ago, or a few minutes since I restarted, should I say, and we've got a signal somewhere about here. Right there. We've got a fairly decent 71, so let's give it a crack. Well, that was a deep one. We were down 8 inches, and we might have a coin. That would be a great start. It's definitely round. Oh, I don't believe it. Is it a shotgun? Bloody is. Ah, what a nightmare. It's a shotgun cap. Right, okay. Let's give it a rub up, see what the lettering says. We have got REM-UNC or UVC. UMC, the number 12 for 12 bore, which is the type of shotgun, and something at the bottom. I think it's Remington, isn't it? Remington, which is the maker. It is Remington. So Remington 12 bore, a UMC, whatever that is, and 12 bore shotgun. Oop. You can see the felt inside. That's a felt wad, and you can see where the percussion cap's been struck by the firing pin. Probably not very old, less than 100 years I'm reckoning. Oh well, thought we were off to a blinder. Sometimes you've got to listen to your brain. It sounds like iron, you think it's iron, but you're like, ugh, I'm just going to dig it anyway. And then you start to think, why did I dig that up? I knew it was iron, but I dug it anyway, and it's iron. We've got a very good sounding signal here, coming through at 86, 87, and that sounds like a coin all day long. I think we've struck silver in that last spadeful. A look right there. Probably 6 inches down. You beauty. Look at that. Look at that. Alright, we need to give this a wee gentle clean up, and then I'll come back to you. It is a beauty. Gavilimus 111, William the Third, by the grace of God. This is King William of Orange, also known as King Billy. In Scotland we called him King William II, but in England he was known as King William the Third. And he ruled from 1688 until 1702. On the reverse, Rex, which means king. Mag is great, so King of Great Britain. France et Hibernia, so King of Great Britain, France and Ireland. And then you've got the Rampant Lion of Scotland, the Fleur-de-Lis of England, the Harp of Ireland, and then over here would be the 3 Lions of England. And I think this is either a shilling or a 6pence, so it's either 6pence or 12pence, and it's a silver coin. This is from the time of the Jacobites. This is what kicked off the Jacobites in Scotland. James VII, who was a Roman Catholic, was King of Scotland, and he was also known as James II of England, just to confuse everybody. And he had converted to Roman Catholicism when his brother Charles II died in 1680. Then James took the throne, and in 1688 something called the Glorious Revolution happened, which is when poor old James was basically thrown off the throne. He fled to France where he was put up by his cousin King Louis of France. And supporters of James VII and II were known as Jacobites because in Latin, James is Jacobus. So if you're a supporter of Jacobus, you were a Jacobite. And this kicked off the Jacobite risings that began from 1689 and lasted all the way through to James VII's grandson, Bonnie Prince Charlie, in 1745. 1746, with eventual defeat at the Battle of Culloden in April 1746. Even more of a coincidence, the anniversary of the Battle of Culloden is the 16th of April 1746. So I've found this coin to the day of the Battle of Culloden. Beautiful. Solid silver. And probably dates from sometime in the 1690s. There would have been a date on this. Most of the ones that we've found in the past tend to be around 1689 to 1692. What a coin. That is tremendous. A little bit notchy, this one. 46, 47. We're in tinfoil territory, but you gotta try. 6 inches down, we got a little bit of lead. Doesn't seem to be anything other than a little fragment. But, sounded good when it was out, but 6 inches down, it sounded a bit notchy. Oh well. Got a really faint signal here, but it sounds reasonable in numbers. $91, $92. Could be a bit of tin foil. Well, not foil. Aluminium maybe, but could be a coin. Let's have a look and see. I expected it to be deeper. I'm only down 4 inches, maybe 5, but it's saying it's in this plug. Ugh. Oh. We've got silver. We have got another silver coin. We have got another silver coin. A sixpence. 1920. So that's going to be George the V. Again. Looks quite shiny. It is. It's in pretty good condition. Georgius V, by the grace of God, King of the Britons. And on the other side, Fid Def Ind Imp, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. Oh, it's 1926, not 1920. And it's a sixpence. A silver sixpence. Right, let's give it a rub-a-dub and see. So it is indeed 1926, not 1920, which means it is 50% silver. 1920 is when coins changed from 97% or whatever it was to 50%, and then 1947, I think it was faded out altogether. But it's a silver sixpence, albeit only half silver, and it's George V. So George V should never have been king. His brother, Prince Albert Victor, should have been king, but in the 1890s he died during an influenza pandemic, and that put George V in line to the throne. He eventually became king 1909, 1910, and he ruled until 1936. His brother, interestingly, Victor Albert was, or should I say Prince Albert Victor, was the one that was allegedly Jack the Ripper in London. And later on, George V would marry his brother's fiancée, Mary of Teck. He also changed the family name of the royal family, Saxe-Gotha-Coburg. He changed that to the House of Windsor in 1917 because he was at war with his cousin, the Kaiser Wilhelm II. So, nice, beautiful bit of silver. Very nice silver. $92, $91. The only worry is there's a bit of fabric strap sticking up here. Could it be something? No. It could be something related to that. Only one way to find out. I think we've got another broken buckle, because watch this. Breaks in two, and right there is, I think, half a buckle. Oh, it's not half a buckle. It's a D buckle. So it's a whole buckle, but it's missing its pin. There's a bit of rust where an iron pin would be, and that has rotted away. And it is a D buckle, so part of a horse harness. Quite thick, quite heavy. Probably off a working horse that again would have ploughed the field and acted as a tractor. Back in the old days, I'm guessing it's probably into the later part of the 1800s through into the 1900s. But it's a find, and from a bygone age. This signal was all over the shop. It was way down at 20s, it was up at 90s, and to be honest I thought it was going to be a big lump of iron. However, I think it is possibly part of a hand grenade. If anyone's watched our videos from this field in the past, I'm hoping that it's not actually got a hand grenade attached. It doesn't. Good. So far so good, because the worry is that one of these days we're going to find a hand grenade. And it is, definitely is. Thanks to a very keen-eyed watcher from a year or more ago. I'd been finding these for years and had no idea what they were, and he told me, for which I am much appreciated. This is the bottom off of a Mills hand grenade. I will put a photograph up. You can see the thread around the edge, and on the bottom there would be letters, but I think they're all gone on this one, but there would be letters that would tell you what type of hand grenade it was, and also I think how long the fuse lasted. So it would be like an incendiary or a fragmentary or whatever. And yeah, this is from the old days of the military range that was here. We've had dozens of them off this field, and I've had them off countless fields around here. During particularly the Second World War, which is probably when this dates from, there was a lot of infantry based in this part of Perthshire, and they used to do a lot of reconnaissance and training out on the fields, including down here. But it is a nice piece of military social history. Probably dates from the 1940s. Good find, and thank God it's a dud and it's already blown up, because it's a matter of time before we dig up a live one. It's like the Battle of Britain all over again. We've got a little kind of Spitfire type plane doing acrobatics. You might have heard it as I was digging up that hand grenade. Solid 80. And look at that. It is not even in the ground. Ugh, it's well in. And there we go. It's gold. It's going to be a bloody button. It's a bloody button. I just got one of these the other day. Look at the amount of gold on that. I could be a rich man. That is in pretty good nick. That's got loads of gold gills still on it. Still got the loop as well. And maybe a little bit of decoration on that side, possibly. Right, let's give it a rub up. Not far away from where I got the gold half sovereign last year. My first ever gold coin in 20 years of searching. And apparently coins are a little bit like buttons, because buttons, buses even, as they say, because it was not long after that, maybe 6 months later, that I got my first ever hammered gold coin, which I got at Detectorist, which we have already bought our tickets for this year, so maybe we'll see some of you there in September. I hope it's better than last year for most people, but let's give this a rub up, see if there's any detail. As is often the case with these buttons, it's the backside that always survives best. I suspect there probably was some sort of decoration, maybe a bit of heraldry or some sort of livery button on that side, but it's long gone. On the back though, as ever, it's the best side. We've had quite a number of these buttons, and I just got one on the last dig as well. Different type of design, but very similar in terms of gold gilded. They all say this standard colour, or sometimes standard gold colour, sometimes they say standard gold gilt. This one looks like it's made by MSP Company, and it looks like there's maybe a fleur-de-lis symbol or such like at the top there. Could even be a little person, I'm not sure, but gold gilded. Look at the amount of gold on that. I'm a rich man, and I'm reckoning that's probably Georgian period, late Georgian, so George III, 1760s to 1820s, but it could just sneak into George IV territory, or maybe even very early Victorian. Let me know in the comments below. We might have another button. 41, oh, it's all over the shop. 71, 61, 51, 33, I think we've got a bit of junk. Ugh, I'm going to give it a go anyway, but it's not sounding good. Well, I find that hard to believe. I'm going to have a re-sweep of this hole in a second, but maybe there's more than one signal and maybe that's the reason why. But as you saw, that sounded pretty much junky. It was all over the shop. It didn't go into the zeros, which is why I dug it anyway. And look in the sidewall. That looks like a coin. It is. I think it's a spendable. I think that is a spendable 1 pence. It is. That is a 1 pence piece. You can see the word penny, but I can't see the number 1 anywhere. Other side. It is a penny. There is Queen Elizabeth II. Right, let's give it a wee rub up and see. Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen of the Britons, Defender of the Faith. 201 something. There's like these 2 corrosion dots, and I'm guessing it would have been 2000, and it looks like maybe a 10 or a 6, but who knows, it could be anywhere between 2010 and 2019, but it shows you people are still losing coins. And look how bad this is already, with hardly being in the ground. Well, it does say 1. It says 1 there. 1 penny. So, there you go. A coin, but a spendable coin. Just 6 feet away from the last signal, and we've got a belter. Solid 87. The field is pretty boggy in this bit, it's quite soft, and we've got something right here, but we've also got something here, so which one's the imprint and which one is the thing? That's the thing, that's the thing. We've got 2 things, and we've got a whole load of worms as well by the looks of it. That looks like a coin. That is a coin. That isn't a coin. That is a coin. I think we've got 2 coins. That is a coin. I thought that was an imprint. That is a coin as well. We've got 2 coins. 2 coins, 1 hole. Close together. Let's see who they are. 100% we've got 2 coins. It looks like both of them are halfpennies. The one on the left is completely toasted. The one on the right is green on one side and brown on the other. And you can just make out Gorgeous George, Georgius V. People often ask, why is he Gorgeous George? I don't know, that's just the nickname that I've given to George V. However, his 2 coins, he ruled from 1909, 1910ish until 1936. And for whatever reason, these seem to be the most common coins that we find. George V. Probably they stepped up agriculture after World War I, and a lot more people were in the fields planting and harvesting. But also on the old military range, which is where I am, he is the most common coin that we find. Generally the coins are from the Victorian period, the late Victorian period, through until the 1950s. Even had 1, maybe even 2 coins from the United States from the 1950s as well. So clearly there were a few Americans here, as well as Brits and Polish and Canadian and Australian. But 2 coins sometime between 1909 and 1936, give or take. Got a nice sweet sounding signal here somewhere. Solid 84. Sounds like a coin all day long. 2 spadefuls down and we're out the hole right here somewhere. I think we've got silver. It's not another William, is it? Oh. I tell you what, I think that might be a hammered coin. I think that is. I think that might be a hammered silver coin. Oh, I don't want to rub it and I don't have my water with me. Right, let's try and peel that off. One-handed. There we go. Oh, you beauty. Look at that. I think that's a Charles. Charles the First, maybe? Can't remember if he faces to the left or to the right. Right, we're going to need to go and give this a very, very gentle clean. There's a little stream about 100 metres away to my left. So I'm going to go and give this a little wash. Look who's here. that was Martin and Mr. Fletch, aka Paul. Anyway, I have been to the stream and it's dry. There's no water in it, but there's another stream at the other side of the field, which I'm going to head for. Before I headed, as I say, I'm almost out of time, so I just scoped out around the area and nothing more to be had. However, I'm going to go and give this a wash, and we have definitely got hammered silver. My first hammered silver coin with Deus II, which is tremendous. So let's go and give it a wash. It's hardly a flowing torrent, is it? But it's enough. So, moment of truth. Ow, it's a bramble. Let's see what happens. What have we got? It's looking in great condition. Right, that water is cold. Whew, that water is cold. Right, what have we got? We've got Carolus de Gracia, by the grace of God, Scotland, England, France, et Hibernia Rex. So Charles the First, by the grace of God, King of Scotland, England, France and Ireland. And I've been joined by the dastardly duo of Paul and Mr. Fletch.
Paul and Mr. Fletch.
Sorry, Mr. Fletch and Marty. And you little beauty. That is a hammered. Words of encouragement from Martin there. And even better, it's a Scottish hammered.
Oh, really?
Yep. And you can see a thistle. A Scottish thistle with a crown above it. Salus repubs something. I don't know. Something Lex. I've no idea what that means. But that is a hammered silver coin. And it looks like Charles the First to me. Which means it's 1625 to 1649 he got his head chopped off by Oliver Cromwell. So that is a beauty. That's not far away from where Martin found a Charles shilling, 12 pence, last year. And he also got a James the 6th of Scotland, sixpence. So both those coins are from the 1600s as well, 1603 to 1625. No, 1649. So maybe there's more to be had. Right, I'm going to leave it there. That's me finished for the day, but what a way to finish. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, let me know. And also, if you know what kind of coin this is, then let me know. XL, extra large. Who knows? Let me know in the comments.